Single tonguing, 4 tas, 4 gas. Simple double tonguing. Simple triple tonguing. Okay, this is going to be a little different. Quadruple tonguing. Tugga-dugga, 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 tugga-dugga. Now, for something completely different, 5s, 3 and 2, and then 2 and 3. Two and 3. Now 6s. 3 3 2 2 2. Sevensies. 3 2 2. Eights at last. Now, why do these exercises at all? I usually do them after I've warmed up, not when I'm playing cold. The reason for these is that if you're a background brass player, an important facet of background brass playing is that an organization is only as strong as its background players. And the chief handicap of background brass players is tonguing. For example, I've logged many, many hours playing the pecker horn. And anybody who has played the peck horn or any other brass in that range knows what a chop killer playing endless offbeats can be. But it doesn't have to be. Come prepared. Build up your chops, make it light, make it simple, make it easy. And the process will be less painless and soul-destroying. Now, yes, you should practice those things, and they're awful to play, but largely because you're unprepared. And if your chops aren't in shape and able to take on endless mpa, 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 you're not practicing. You're not doing your job as a background brass player. Now, 5s. What good are 5s? Well, they don't just have a single use as for playing in L'Histoire de Soldat by Stravinsky if you're a trumpet player. 5s come in handy, both patterns, if you're playing 16th notes or faster, where the first 16th is absent, and then you have to play like 2 triplets, like ticka-da-ticka-da, ticka-da-ticka-da, ticka-da-ticka-da. Now, if you're prepared for those, they become effortless. But what most of us do as background brass players is single tongue them, da, 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 and then when the music is, if the music is really fast, we're toast. And so it helps to have those patterns down, and they come in very handy if you're playing in a really proficient organization. Um, it's good to have really fast triplets. Um, Now, why tongue in sevens? Well, I'll tell you, a lot of people uh, play background brass in mariachi, cha 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 bands, and like Mexican banda, it'll say on eBay or on the interweb. And if you're playing uh, background brass in mariachi bands, normally what you're doing is leaving the complex patterns to the percussionists. And then you're going da, 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 da. That's all very well and good, but you could take it to a whole other level if your whole section can go da 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 da. Now, it may come as news to you, but if you experience real Latin music in Latin America, they don't just play da 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 da. They also play sevens. And they can dance to it too. It's something to behold, and it's a simple. Even fives are simple to dance to once you get the once you get the footwork down, and once you get your body rhythm going right. And if you're dancing to that kind of music, don't worry. Somebody near at hand will show you how it's done. They will show you where to put your feet and how to move your body. Now, back in the old days, in the early days, in the 1830s, both in the U.S. and in the U.K., bandmasters were very conscious of dance. People danced to that music. And there was a lot of, believe it or not, march. It may be 2, 3, 4, but it's also a dance. Yes, if you look at old 78 records from the 1910s, 20s, 30s, 40s, you'll see that there's a lot of tunes marked march. And they're not talking about 2, 3, 4. They're talking about a style of dance. Now, band masters, way back in the beginning of the brass band tradition and in concert bands of the same period, were very good dancers across the board. They knew how to write for dance. And that was certainly a failing of those of us who were playing rock music and the bar band music in the 1970s and even in the late 60s. Guys used to brag that they didn't know how to dance and had never been on a dance floor in their life. Well, it cost you, and where are you now? You look at your best pop stars, and they all know how to write tunes for dance. There's a lot of tangos. There's a lot of everything. Every style of dance is in there, and they know how to dance. And it behooves every musician to learn how to dance. It seems to be a forgotten part of the business. Sing, dance, and act a bit. Hoofers, for those who just knew the basics. Now, the early guys, and like Dodworth is an example going way back when. He wrote lots of books on dance, and these guys would invent new types of dance, and that was very true back in the 1960s. Like there was a craze of, that's where the twist came from, or do the mash, the monster mash. No, I'm just making that up. But there were people who were back in the big band days. Um, Arthur Manning, am I getting your name right? And Norma Ray Miller, used to be hired by people like Dizzy Gillespie. He wanted people to dance to his music. Although Frankie Manning came up to Dizzy and said, "Dizzy, this is not music for dancing." Yeah. Although he did manage to do it. But back in the old days, they used to hire professional dancers. Chick Webb and his orchestra, and Norma Miller and Frankie Manning were there then, showing people how to do the latest dance moves and lead the pack in dancing. And that's something. If you want to be a working musician, you should know dance inside out. You should be able to dance. And if you're playing big band music, you should be getting people out to dance to the music, because if people aren't dancing to it, you're not playing big band music. You're just I won't use the language I normally use, but you're just stroking your own ego and playing for yourself. You're not really playing big band music. So that's why all the fancy tonguing. And if you can introduce that into your improvisatory playing in Latin music, you could kick it up a notch. Think about it.